Hi Aquarius. So, what are we doing this month? Because I can't talk about how much I love you guys because we already did that. So what do we talk about? I want to tell you something in each video that relates to me so you can get to know me better in relation to you. So, in the case of Aquarius, what would that be? I have no Aquarius in my chart. No planets in Aquarius. I find you guys to be alluring, I think, because I understand you, but I don't. I'm a pretty good judge of character. I understand most people, but you guys can be a little bit of a mystery, and that's fun for me, because I like solving puzzles, figuring stuff out, finding patterns. It's definitely like what I have fun doing, you know, I enjoy it, and you guys can be like a puzzle, but only if you're turned around the right way. You can also be a very painful puzzle for people who don't know how to unlock you properly. A lot of buttons with Aquarians, but you have to know which ones to push. You're like a very sophisticated machine emotionally. It's not that you're emotionless. It's not that. It's just that your understanding is so broad that you have components for any emotion, really. Depends on what buttons get pushed in what order. So it really is up to the person how you are going to react to them. It really is up to them what buttons they push in what order. That's the Aquarian they get. And I like that. Because, I don't know, I like machines a lot. You guys are kind of like a beautiful machine. I wonder why these cards are having such a hard time coming out for you guys. I think it's probably because Aquarius has been a bit harsh lately. Not so nice, I want to say. And so they don't really feel like getting called out, especially not by me. Right. And there come all the cards. Alright, you guys, let's take a look. There you are. Here's all the people you're driving crazy. Aquarius, what are you guys doing? You're just running around like with this sword all over the place, huh? What happened? Alright, let's take a look. So you've definitely got some fire signs here that you're being pretty cold to. I see that. I see you reduce, and there's even a water sign that you don't even really care that much about anymore here. I see you turning this fire sign around pretty bad. I see you guys hurting people pretty bad here. But why? You're doing it out of this Aquarian, what I like to refer to as, you know, like the nutty professor, like someone who's so smart that they're a little absent-minded. You guys can be so abstract that you can be cold, you can appear very cold and emotionless and unable to see what's very obvious. You see, that's what I get a lot from this card when it has to do with Aquarians. It's like you're missing something right in front of your face because it doesn't agree with your theoretical take on the world, your abstraction of the world. And I know the idealism. I know that you, above and beyond everything else, desire to live a life based on your wishes and your dreams. I know how very real this sort of abstract idealism is to you. This isn't abstract idealism to you. To you, this is real stuff. To you, this is just as grounded as earth to an earth sign. Like, for you, this is your card in a lot of ways. You live by this. This is real for you. This isn't just some tucked away set of idealistic beliefs that no one really knows that you think because you don't exhibit them in your life. This is how you live. This is who you are. And sometimes that can be a deficit because you're not seeing what's very clearly right in front of you. Right? And I see that you have made some hard decisions here, Aquarius. It hasn't been easy. You had to really be strong and tell some people how it was, either with what you said or how you behaved. But it was all about explaining to them that it couldn't be the way they wanted. You had to definitely dole out some bad news and make some hard decisions that threw this person, at least, into a tailspin. This fire sign has been suffering. All the way turned around. Demoted, if you will, from here to here. Right side up again, though, so don't worry about them. They'll be alright. Where you now are looking kind of annoyingly at how much you put into this before you walked away and how irritated you are by how much you put into it. This person, this fire sign or this water sign, is looking at it like, wow, look how much I invested. Look how much I put into this, and he or she doesn't even notice. It's like it didn't happen. You're just not even looking there. You're looking up and away at your own. You're just irritated. You're like, whatever. You're ready. You're ready to just leave it. And this is a very Aquarian reaction to things. You said how it is. You're strong about it. You're acting very much like yourself. And everyone else can kind of go to hell. And they can deal with it however they want. But you're out. You got stuff to do. You got stuff to think about. You got stuff to do. You don't have time to wallow in what is now just like a misery. A lot of times, this card can mean a lot of different things. And in this reading, this is definitely coming across as you being tired of this energy. If you were stuck in a situation, Aquarius, with either this fire sign or this water sign, where they kind of wanted you to sit and wallow in their misery with them and be down here with them, you can't. It's so far from your nature to be that way. You just couldn't follow them into that place. It's just not you. You're a very strong person. And it comes from this idealism, this abstraction of what you think is right. And this is not an energy that you actually think is right. You don't actually agree with this sort of misery. You know the kind of misery that a water sign can fall into? Or the kind of self-pity that a fire sign can fall into? You just don't play those games. You don't like that sort of energy. It rubs you very much the wrong way. Because there is a strength to air signs that you don't find in earth or water or fire. All three, earth, water, and fire, are ruled to a large extent by their emotions, always. It is the air sign it is the one who has no emotion. And that's not true. That's not what I mean. It's just that our filter through which we see the world and through which we communicate does not take emotion into account. It's a whole other level of like preternatural, cold-blooded strength. It's a sword. It's cold. It's steel. It gets right to it. If you look at some of these readings, the ones I did earlier than yours, you're the second to last. Some of the earlier readings I did, people were like, man, you just got right to the point. And I think it's because, you know, I'm a Gemini, and it's that air sign quality of like, I'm just going to get right to the point. And a lot of times people can't handle that about us as a group of signs. You know, I think that it can be very hard for people who, for example, need their hand held to learn and deal and process their emotions. I think people like that can have a very hard time with this energy. And, you know, whereas this is what you would call an immature water sign, okay, when they get, you know, when they're more in touch with their feelings, when they're more grounded, when they're more happy, they come across more as a Knight of Cups or a Queen or a King of Cups, right? So this is an immature water sign, just like this is an immature fire sign, right? Someone who is not in control of their passion, someone who has outbursts, emotional outbursts, someone who, you know, has emotionally exhausted you, right? This is someone who comes from a very domineering place where they use their emotions to manipulate you. And what you've done, Aquarius, is you finally upended this person and been like, no, I'm tired of this dynamic. I'm not doing this with you anymore. Why I point this all out is these are two cards that represent the youthful kind of folly of their element, right? The youthful folly of a fire sign, the youthful folly of a water sign. This is the difference between us and them. This is not the card of the youthful folly of a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This is the epitome of us. We, as the cards go up in degree, get harsher and colder and less good. Where these guys mature, we get worse. We're our best here when we are the carefree, youthful energy of an air sign. Then the sword isn't so bad. The King of Swords, now that's a whole different story. That guy's not jumping and skipping and out in the fields running around and still having fun and happens to have a sword with him. That guy's just sitting in a chair with a real big knife, just waiting for you to come near him so he can slice you up. You understand? So whereas this energy still can be worked on and evolved into these people coming into their own, air signs don't work that way. We don't come into our own. We are born this way. We're intuitively intelligent, and it's just something we have. It's innate. It's not something we evolve into. It's a very snap of the fingers kind of life an air sign has, and being in an air sign's head. So, whereas these people around you who I can see have been trying to emotionally manipulate you into getting you to do what they want, you just put your foot down. You have been really strong. You've used these Aquarian qualities to your benefit. So you've missed the BS. They've tried very hard in very pleasant, kind guises to get your attention and get you to do what they want, but you're not buying it. You're just not having it anymore, and it doesn't matter how much work was put into it. That's it. These cards together, this is us when we're doing it right. When air signs are being fantastic, they do a lot of this. We're really at our best when we engage in this sort of thoughtful contemplation. Not contemplation brought on by painful events necessarily, just when we make this a part of our daily lives. When air learns how to be still and move when it wants to instead of just moving all the time, becomes very powerful, and this practice does that. And I feel like when you see these cards together like this, it's because this person is finally going to break away from the situation and the group of situations that no longer serve them. And they just finally, in their heart, have felt like, I just want to leave. I just want to get away from this. And you couple that with this, which air signs should do, and they do, to a certain extent all the time. They're always kind of internally wondering and thinking about themselves and refining themselves and making themselves better. Certainly Aquarians. So this is a part of your nature already in that way, the abstraction. But I see these two things working together now, just like I see these two things working together to really rid you of these negatives. And then it just looks like, good times. I see good times for you here, Aquarius. I see you, yes, you've been harsh, but you did what was necessary. And you cut ties that really needed to be cut. You needed to cut all this out of your life. And yeah, there was a lot of time and effort made, but you know what? That's no reason to stay in a bad situation filled with a kind of misery that you could never get used to. Look at those people, Aquarius. You can't be that. That's not you. This is you. This is you. And you know it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You know how awesome you are. And good for you. I mean, yes, it was harsh, and I'm sorry for the people that you hurt. And I'm sorry especially for the Pisces and the... Oh, yeah. But I think it's all for the better. And I also feel like it's not even that it could have been an earth sign, it's that all of these people were thinking about you in a very earthy way. Like they had begun to kind of depend on you. They had begun to feel like you'd always be there to give them that emotional charity that they needed from you. They had begun to rely on you for this. And sooner or later, Aquarius, you weren't going to be able to, that you were going to buckle under that, because air signs can't be with emotionally unaware people. People who haven't done the work of looking internally never can hang on to an air sign, because we're constantly doing the internal work. So if you bottle up your feelings and you don't say how you feel and you just let things go and let things go and let it pile up, you develop an energy that's very emotionally needy, where you kind of want us to process your emotions for you. And we can't do that. And so if you are an earth sign that's really hurting over an Aquarius, which I feel that there's also a lot of Pisces, and this fire sign is probably the most pronounced. You guys felt it the most. Aquarian's just kind of shrugging you all off right now, and I see that he or she is only doing it for their benefit, which, you knew what you were getting into when you got into it with him. You knew he was always going to look out for his own benefit. But you can't blame him here, because he's still right. This does need to happen. Maybe he's just she is being the stronger person and admitting that this ending needs to happen before you're ready to admit it. And so that's why it's so hurtful, because the way they're doing it isn't, gentle enough. But, whoever said an Aquarian was gentle. Again, you knew what you were getting into. If you are the earth sign watching this because you're in love with an Aquarius, and why wouldn't you be? They're wonderful. But understand here that part of why you love him is why he did what he did. Because it cannot continue like this. And be assured that, not having someone indulge this in you is the best thing. An Aquarian was never going to indulge this sort of misery for very long anyway. Alright? So Aquarius, what I see for you is Keep chugging along with that superpower of yours. The dual powers of internal and external thought. Keep thinking. Keep being your beautiful abstract self. Be a little kinder here, though, because the people you're dealing with are emotionally needy and they're really hurting right now, a lot of them. Because you did do the strong, difficult thing, but karma, man. Just be careful. Be careful. Be kind. There's stuff happening right in front of your face where people are hurting, and you need to be cognizant of that. You need to pay attention to that. You know, remember, it takes a lot of strength to be gentle. And I know that your energy is not naturally a gentle energy. Neither is mine. I get it. But right now, these people that you are, you know, like I said, these are emotionally vulnerable, emotionally immature people who are very much hurting. And some of them are really, really, really turned around because of what you've decided and how you're behaving. So just be aware of that. Of course, make the decisions you have to make that are right for you. That's only fair. You know, it's not about just staying in something just because. That's not your energy. That's more of like a nonsensical, downward spiraling earth sign thing to do. Well, I put so much into it, so I'll just stay and put more into it kind of thing. You're like, nope, not happening, not doing that, we're out. And that's okay. Just, you know, be careful. Be careful of your karma. That's all. Alright, Aquarius? I'll see you later.